Death penalty. What is the death penalty? The death penalty was a punishment created to kill or execute a person who did a crime that was thought enough to be persecuted by death. Michigan was the first state to declare that they were going to abolish the death penalty. According to E.S. Burt, from his book The Autobiography, Subject and the Death Penalty, between 1996 and 2018, there was a 72 decrease in the death sentence passing on people to be executed. By abolishing the death penalty, you're really going to give people a second life, a second chance at life when it comes to being a better person. You're also not going to give them the easy way out by just killing them. It's just unethical just to kill someone and giving them the satisfaction of not paying time for their crimes. And by abolishing it, you'd really take care of the racism when it comes to being on trial, and helping the people that with mental disorders have a fairer trial rather than people looking at them differently. It's all about giving second chances in this life. And nobody's perfect, and I understand these crimes that these people commit, they can be bad, but everybody always deserves a second chance. You and me as people, we've got many second chances all the time. Every time that we do something wrong, we usually get a second chance. So I feel like that people should always get a second chance. The death penalty was so bad that in the 7th century BC Code of Athens, which made the death penalty acquired for every crime. Every crime. You could just steal an apple back in the 7th century and you're going to be dead. How does that solve anything? I know it's changed a lot since then. Just thinking about it, like back then, you stole something, you're dead. Like that wasn't. No, you can't do stuff like that. You got to think about it ethically. You got to look at the proof. You got to look at the evidence. You got to look at what they have done. In the trial versus Compton versus Ohio, defendants that were being prosecuted, they argued it was a violation of their 14th Amendment right to due process for jurors to have unrestricted discretion in deciding whether the defendant should have lived or died. The 14th Amendment states that a human being cannot take your life, liberty, or property. It protects your life and your rights. If you make an amendment over not taking life, then I don't understand why y'all would make the death penalty. The death penalty is just, you get to choose if someone gets to die. I don't think that's ethical. Like I said, the crimes they may have done might have been bad, but you should never take a person's life regardless. You have to, let them understand what they've done wrong rather than them just saying, "Oh, you're dead," and that's it. Also, I feel that the death penalty is just an easy way out for the people who did commit the crimes. They're not feeling bad because oh, I'm gonna die anyways. What does it matter? You gotta let them know that you're not getting an easy way. You're not just gonna die and do whatever you want. That's not the way it works. You gotta put your foot down and you gotta tell them. You give them a chance to change. According to Michael Ryder in his book Easy. It is also true that many have grown considerably since the days of their crimes and are very different people. This man, he would go to death row sentence people that went back to trial and got their sentences to life instead of death, and he would talk to them for the years and years since he first met them and the years that passed. He says they changed as people. It just takes time. It's correctness that people always need in their lives. That's all it is. People don't know how to fill void, so they do these things. But once they understand the true meaning, they get it when they understand. Also, when it comes to being on trial, it pertains to people of race and disorders. When it comes to people on trial, if you have a trial of people that are mainly whites and you are African American, and that these people were raised in the racist era and they have their preferences rather than yours, it's not going to be a fair trial. How is that going to be fair for anybody? It's a very, very shouldn't be that way, and it's not fair for the people. And also people with mental disorders, they look at these people and say, and this person's sick, let's just put them out of their lives. I don't think that's right. They deserve a fair trial as well. You're basically just dehumanizing the person that is on trial, and I just don't find that right. And how could you? He's a human being, or she's a human being just like you. What if that was you would want a fair trial? You also got to put yourself in their shoes. You want to be able to sit on that trial and sit there and that you're going to be treated fairly. You're going to have everything looked at for you. Everything's going to be placed in order. And it's what it's all about. You got to be able to change their minds when talking to them. You got to be able to look at them and tell them that, hey, I need this, and I understand my crimes were bad, but I really would appreciate it if you look at every aspect of this. Over the years, 42% of people agree still on the death penalty. But as days come, more and more, that percentage will go down because people are taking a stand. In conclusion, I have gone over being able to give people second chances, not giving them the easy way out because they need to pay for the punishment, and racism towards the people on trial, and not dehumanizing people with mental illness. People just need to really open up their eyes and see the true meaning when it comes to being put on death penalty, because they wouldn't want that for themselves. Us as the people, we need to take a stand, and we need to speak up, and we need to start changing things, because the view on this is terrible, and we need to take a stand, and we need to come together, and we need to make a difference. These are my references. And once again, thank you. I hope I have persuaded you enough to change and go rethink your ways on the death penalty, and I hope I have made an impact on your thoughts.